Right, here we go. Hello and welcome to Tim's BMW Repairs and Information. Today is Tuesday. I've come home early to give me an hour before the sun goes down to try and get the 650 going. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got the new filter cover. Here we go then, we're at BMW. It's called Group 1, now it used to be Barons of Hindhead. Yeah, a bit embarrassing. There's all these M-Class cars around with the quad exhaust and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm in the Mini. Yeah, it's typical, isn't it? There you go. Anyway, I got the part. Because as you know, the filter cover cracked and it lost all its oil and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this could be a catastrophic engine failure. Yeah, my oil, as you can see, is on the ground here. Unfortunately, I had to go about 500 yards with no oil pressure. So I've got new filter cover, new filter. I will then put 8 litres of new oil in there. I've disconnected the ignition coils. I've no idea if it's even a crank with them disconnected. It should do. We just take it from there and we'll just have to hope that it goes okay. So the plan is to crank it for quite a while with the coils disconnected so it doesn't fire up. And then once oil pressure's built up, we'll reconnect the ignition coils and off we'll go. So yeah, no prevaricating, let's get on with it. There we go, I've half filled that up with fresh oil, new filter in there. And I'm going to drag that under the car. That's why it's in a box so it doesn't fall over. And also I've got the, I best put a bit of oil on the O-ring as well. That's always handy. Otherwise it might be quite hard work getting it in. So it's a bit of oil around the old O-ring. There we go, that's better. And then get the right socket out, also the drain plug. Let's get on with it. Right, in we go. It's quite heavy with it half full of oil, and I wouldn't be surprised if half of it came back out again. Right, why aren't you going in? That's weird, I don't want to go in. Oh, there we go. We're in, thank goodness for that. Getting it caught on the side there. Right, as I've oiled the O-ring, it should go in reasonably easily. Yeah, one of the comments was, yeah, that's a cartridge that's been over-tightened too many times. Well, I don't over-tighten them, that's for sure. It doesn't look like it's going in properly, if you ask me. It's like it's going in on the piss. Let's give it another go. Come on, you can do it. Going in this time. That doesn't feel right at all. I'm not quite sure what's wrong. Is that the wrong thread? Wouldn't be surprised if anything else has gone wrong. The smell of old oil down here is horrible. Yeah, that's better. That seems to be going the right way now. Funny how many times I've done this and still causes a problem. Right. These don't need to be done up tight at all. Just, it's got a big annular O-ring on it. So I should just keep going in. And then come to a stop, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. Just check the O-ring hasn't popped out of the groove, which it hasn't. Right. Yeah, that shouldn't be tight either. Righty-ho. There's sure to be a little bit of oil left in here. At the bottom of the sump, I should think. Yep. Any... No metal shavings, I'm glad to say. Right, new crush washer on that. Well, we still, yeah, this is one of the reasons I wanted to drain the oil was because, of course, I don't know how much to put in if I haven't drained it all. With it all drained, it takes 8 litres. Always the same, every single year, put 8 litres in. And it lasts a year, which should have warned me, of course, because I did have to put in a litre about 2 months ago. So we're obviously having problems then. Try not to drop the drain plug into the catch can as much as possible. Because you'll have to fish it out. There we go, that's done up. New crush washer, that's on. Do I put the cover on? I suppose I ought to, really. Oh, they're all tight. I turned the ignition on yesterday, and all it did, it came up, ping, and showed a picture of a car up on a lift, trying to indicate that something's gone horribly wrong. Right, funnel. Right, 8 litres of 0W30, as I always use. A funnel that's just not quite the right size for anything. So it may fit in, but after a few seconds the wind will blow it away. I'll show you how I've done the disconnection of the coils in a second. Once I've got this oil in and it's sort of settling down in there. Yeah, an engineer told me about this a long time ago. Don't have the outlet of your carton of oil at the bottom, always have it at the top. The reason is you can let the air in. If you turn it upside down, it goes bloop bloop and chucks it everywhere. Have it like that at the top and it just whizzes in. Yeah, I'll take that weather cover off again in a second and open up the e-box so you can see what I've done. Of course, the TIS is all very confusing because, of course, it covers all models, including all the USA models, and they have bits in different places. For instance, the glove box, of course, is on their right-hand side, and ours is on the left. So where's the main fuse box? Who knows, one side or the other. I couldn't find it on the glove box, so it must be on the other side. I almost put the cap on with the oil sign facing the wrong way. Well, that would have spelt disaster straight away. So there's the e-box, and it's held down by 6 hex sort of self tappers. So they've all been out, and I just replaced the cover because it's meant to rain today. And BMW seem to have designed the car so the rain comes down the windscreen and immediately goes onto the e-box. Well, so I thought I'd better put the cover back on just in case we get rain in the night. Rain's heading this way by the look of the sky though. Right, cover off. Right, into the e-box we go. This is the connector for the coils. That's the DME or ECU down the back there. And this is the IVM module, whatever you call it. Yeah, you can see it's got clips on it here. One there, and then the whole thing will lift up. And the fuses will be on the face of it. The fuses are down there. I can't zoom you in much because, of course, we're in steady mode. So there's the fuses. Of course, you unclip it and get it out. Let's see where I got the connector out of. There we go. So that's where the coils go. So it's a 9-way connector, or was it? Yeah, 9-way connector. So that's how you tell which one it is. In we go. It'll go bing straight away. Hasn't gone bing straight away. Right, here we go. Right, well, that's one go at it. Let's give it another go. That should be pressure up. Oh, got a big exclamation mark for a second. I'm not quite sure what that's for. We'll ignore that. And then what we'll do is we'll plug in the ignition again. That's in. Right. Cross your fingers for me. All right. Well, that sounds like a fully working model to me. I can't hear any strange noises. Smells a bit rich. That's probably because I've been turning it over for a while. Even slowing down to normal tick over. Look, I'll give you a rub down because you've been so good. There we go. That sounds lovely, by the way. That's perfect. Haven't got any worries about that at all. No weird noises or anything. So yeah, I'm happy with that. It's obviously all new oil, new filter, all check for leaks. Yeah, for a second then I thought it was going to be pouring out, but it isn't, so yeah. Well, there you go then. I think we're on to a winner here. We'll find out when I go to work in it tomorrow, of course, and you'll be seeing me do that. Rightio, let's get all the bits and bobs back on, shall we? No big end noises, no main bearing noises. Top end sounds the same as the usual drop, 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 drop we always get on BMW V8s. It sounds fine. So of course it might be different when I put my foot down, but I somehow doubt it. I really didn't go that far without any oil pressure. Right, here we go, cover on. How much was in the sump? 2 litres was in the sump. So we still had 2 litres in it. Yeah, but I don't think it's going round. Otherwise we would have not had low oil pressure. Right, off we go. Everything appears normal so far. Well, we seem to have all the same oil we started with. But yes, yeah, we look okay. Okay, well, today's Saturday. That means I've been to work and back 3 times in the 650. Hasn't missed a beat, been absolutely perfect. Gave it lots of welly just to make sure it didn't explode. And it didn't explode. So what have we learned? Well, change that filter cover. Yep, especially from all the comments I had. I mean, there's only one video online that shows an exploding cover. It doesn't seem to be mentioned anywhere else, but in the comments, yeah, at least 10 people said they'd had the same problem. Some just split and you lose some oil. Some just go bang and leave oil everywhere like I did. Yeah, it's not good. And then you run out of oil pressure. But my advice is, find somewhere safe to stop. I mean, about 500 yards or so with no oil pressure and everything was fine. Much better to look after yourself than the car. It's only a car. Rightio, so change that cover, but what I will warn you is it's different to the old one, and it has a bit of difficulty fitting through the aperture at the bottom of the cover to start with, and then when you get in position, it really loves going on the skew and cross threading. So put your hand up under the wrench, put a lot of force and then start turning it. As once you've done 1 or 2 turns, no problem, it's not going to cross thread after that point. Yeah, but watch out for that. You don't want it to cross thread, and then you keep putting effort on it, and then you just break it. So yeah, put your hand underneath it, put it up 1 or 2 turns, and then you can tighten it up as normal. Don't forget to put the oil on the O-ring so that as it reaches the housing, the O-ring stays in the groove rather than flopping out. So yeah, once it's up there, just make sure that O-ring's still there and hasn't flopped out over the cover. Righty-ho, so another thing we learned is the sump, even when you've run out of oil pressure and the oil's not going round, still holds 2 litres. So my usual oil change is 8 litres. I just drain the whole thing, put 8 litres in. So you still actually got 2 litres of oil, but it's not going anywhere, so it's not doing you any good. If you've got no oil pressure, then the oil in the sump doesn't help you at all. So yeah, my advice is drain the remaining oil out, check it for metal particles. Looked fine to me, couldn't see anything. Yeah, and then just refill it with 8 litres of 0W30 and you're good to go for another year. Yeah, the comments were very useful. From the comments, yeah, found that quite a few other people had this problem. But as I say, it probably is just not over tightening, because I've had this car 10 years. I've done 10 oil services on it and I never tighten up too tight. It just needs to be nipped up. Once the O-ring's compressed and it reaches the end of it, the thread, you don't need to put any pressure on it at all. Same with the E31, which is in the body shop at the moment. They're done from the top, but it's a huge annular O-ring and that's going to stop it turning at all. They never come loose, so don't worry about it. It just needs to be nipped up and that's it. Okay, so thanks very much for the comments. Of course, as always, I read all of them and reply as soon as possible. Yeah, very useful comments this time, because it did show that it's a widespread spread problem. And it's just like the top hose and the bottom hose. The plastic goes brittle, it fails. They need to be replaced before it happens. If your car's as old as mine, which is 2007, then yeah, change it immediately. Just remember, it's slightly different design. You will have a bit of difficulty getting it on unless you put a lot of pressure from underneath. Righty-ho, well then, thanks very much for watching. Put the thumbs up if that helped you. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. The next one should be about the E31, I should hope. See you next time.